shall die.
Years ago, I released a video comparing the inspirations of hero designs for League and Dota, where I showed off in detail how League's champions are designed around a theme, while Dota's heroes are designed with a mechanic in mind. You should go check out that video next. So here's the thing. You could say that Kez has a very Dota design, taking the stance swap mechanic itself to be the core of the hero, but I disagree. The video in the opening, the combo dance of Kez Vergil himself. Yes, I am 100% confident that that combo video was the actual core. I bet there was some game dev at Valve that saw the combo and said, can that be a hero? In this video, I will prove to you that not only is Kez actually just Virgil, but also that Kez is designed for League of Legends. In Dota, the heroes are designed for the most part to embody a specific mechanic or game style as the core of their design. Whether it's cleave, lifesteal, silence, mana as HP, HP as mana, or PTSD, Dota has a hero for nearly any game mechanic, and thus a hero to fit any draft needs or player preferences. On the other hand, League of Legends instead focuses on designing their champions based on core themes, both visual and lore-based. The Hulk, a pro wrestler, a singer, a hoplite, a space dragon, and so on. Even when the theme is a bit more vague, like a gnome with a comically large gun, it's still the core of the champion's design and serves as the foundation of the champion's abilities. So, which category does Kez fall into? At a glance, you might think he's the embodiment of a stance switcher, but that's not really true. In Dota and in League, all other stance switchers actually change their attack range significantly, varying from having ranged poke and catch and melee brawling forms. With the exception of Terrorblade, who prefers to be ranged for the damage bonus, everyone else just has the same ranged to melee gameplay design. Troll Warlord, Lone Druid, Jace, Elise, Nidalee, Gnar. They all use their ranged form to poke at their opponents or play at a safe distance, and then switch into melee forms with generally better stats and brawling strength. Kez is nothing like that. He switches from one melee form to another melee form. Both forms do a ton of damage, with the differences in base damage and attack speed kind of balancing out. The main functionality Kez gets with his stances is access to 8 abilities. Having his stance switching cooldown decrease with levels makes him a lot closer to Invoker with 10 spells than to any other stance switcher in either game. One of the items he can buy, the Aghanim Scepter, is there to basically remove the stance switching mechanic altogether when used right. When a stance switcher is strongest when the stance switching mechanic is removed, then they're not really a stance switcher. I guess if one of his stances was themed around poke and catch, or let's be honest, themed around anything, I could see it. And yet the mobility, the damage, the defense, these are all just split evenly between both stances. Kez doesn't have 2 stances, he just has 8 abilities. So now that we've covered why he's not the embodiment of any one mechanic, and thus not designed like the average Dota hero, I will show you why Kez is actually designed like a League champion. First of all, Kez has a gameplay mechanic that isn't seen anywhere else in Dota, but is one of the most common mechanics in all of League: the mark system. By using some abilities, Kez can place a mark on enemy heroes. The mark does absolutely nothing on its own, but can be consumed by landing another ability or attack, doing bonus damage and applying a stun. Right now, nobody else in Dota applies a mark that does nothing, only to be triggered through other means for an effect. And yet, League has a ton of these. Ezreal, Kindred, Aurelia, Kennen, LeBlanc, Cassante, Lux, Leona. You get the point. The mark applied, to be consumed, is a League mechanic that Kez now brings to Dota. A second way that Kez is designed like a League champion is the attention and flexibility behind his lore. League of Legends champions are for the most part designed with lore that doesn't just extend into the past of League's chronology, but also has room for the present stories and the future implications. Pick a champion at random, and you're probably going to have someone whose story is still being told in the greater lore timeline, and Riot, the developers of League, are fully aware of this. Every year they release cinematics, comics, short stories, and sometimes even an anime, all as canon events. Most of their champions are written to be alive and active in the world. Now take a look at Dota's heroes. Sure, some heroes exist that you can tell a new story with, but again, pick at random and what do you get? The heat death of the universe, a literal star, the Lord of Olympus, a bug, a cosmic bug. I mean, these guys have so much lore and story, but it's almost always either too old or way too large in scope for what us humans can relate to. What contemporary story event can Dota media even tell about a Leviathan, a god of war, or a demon? Well, what about Kez? He was released after a multi-month in-game event, the story of Crownfall. In it, we were introduced to Kez and his backstory, and watched as he became a revolutionary and a hero. The final scene of Crownfall is directly tied to the intro cinematic of the hero, and he even got his own comic. Kez is an active player in a contemporary story, one that's big enough to tell, but not too big to become an incomprehensible mess, just like the stories told of League champions. Another point towards Kez having a League design is that most hard carries in League are designed not to stats check their enemy, but instead are meant to use their skills to outplay and out-finesse their opponents. League champions are made to turn around even the worst of situations. Now, when we're talking about Kez...
Hold it right there, Zarbatedo. Let me, the head Kez head himself, tell you what this hero's all about. Kez is the turnaround king of Dota. There is no other hero in this game that can dance this fine line between aggression and overextension like Kez does. This hero is all about outplaying your enemy, hunting them down with Raven's Veil, setting up these massive parries when they try to hit you, then finally baiting them to come close enough to you for a final punish with Raptor Dance. You see, Kez is the embodiment of retribution in Dota. How dare you even try to step up to him? That's what this hero does. His whole kit is about enabling him to counter any kind of attempt to bring him down.
Thanks for the insight. Yeah, what he said. Kez really is a hero that's only as good as the player. Where most Dota carries are merely played, Kez must be piloted. So, Kez has League mechanics, League-coded lore, and League gameplay focus. Let me tie it all together by reintroducing the fact that more so than Dota's heroes, League's champions are designed with an aesthetic theme. And like I said before, Kez is Virgil. Let's just compare them, shall we? First off, the obvious similarities. Do you guys remember Kez when he was first introduced? His skills were all blue themed, which was terrible for visual clarity at the time. But why blue? Why was the Echo Slash blue and the ult was a blue-teal hue? And the clones were blue, and still are. Want to take a look at Virgil again? And then there's the constant stuns. Before the recent rework, Kez was able to basically air juggle any solo target with a flurry of small but constant stuns. And then there's the fact that both use katanas, can parry attacks, can summon blue clones that repeat all of their movements. Dash all over the place and have the same ultimate wind-up animation. And I do mean the same. Guys, it's identical. And finally, Virgil has multiple weapons, each changing his combat animations and granting new abilities. Sound familiar? Kez is the most League of Legends hero in Dota because he has League mechanics, is based entirely off of skill combos and outplays, and because he is the idea of Virgil manifest. Kez only switches stances because so does Virgil. Thank you for watching another comparison video. I hope you liked it. I was going to compare Kez with Nidalee, but it just never came together. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, see you guys later.
Be quick about it!